want to switch a moment to look at the Atlantic Yards project, in particular the LDC that was used recently in that project, the arena. And what is the precedent for the use of a local development corporation to do the bond issuance from the perspective of, ESDC?
Well, we've used LDCs for a number of projects. Probably the initial instances of using LDCs for bond issuances relate to the issuance of Liberty bonds, and all of the state's Liberty bond projects were done through our Liberty Development Corporation, which is the local government corporation.
Is there a difference between the Liberty Development Corporation's LDCs and the one that was used for the Atlantic Yards?
No.
There's absolutely no difference?
And no, they're both created under the same law.
What is that law
the Not-for-Profit Corporation Law, the Job Development Authority Act.
And one of the concerns that we've had, and which we, articulated in a letter to the governor dated December 8th, this is not the one, but, is the fact that this approach does not provide for the kind of scrutiny of the Public Authority Control Board that was created so that there can be some look at what the money the bonding was going to be about, and provide some sort of transparency and accountability. This seems to circumvent that.
The reason that we use an LDC in these instances is because these are conduit issues. They are not issues where the state's credit or ESDC is on the hook in any respect.
The state's credit is not a part of it at all?
Not at all.
Exactly what does that mean?
It means that when these bonds are sold, the story that is told to the bondholders and the legal agreement with the bondholders as to where they can look for repayment does not include either ESDC or the state. It simply is related to the credit of, in this case, the Atlantic Yards Arena development. It has nothing to do with the state. And if we did these kinds of issues through either UDC or any other state entity, it would be an issue that would be our obligation. These are not. We're just simply a conduit for them. And so we facilitate.
So are they a subsidiary?
They're not. No, they're not a subsidiary. If it were a subsidiary, it would be UDC's credits that would be implicated. So
are these what one might call moral obligations?
They're not at all moral obligations.
They're not backed by the full faith.
They're not backed by any credit of the state.
They're only backed by
Forest City.
Forest City, right?
Yes.
And now, what is the reason why we're using this process?
For that reason, because we are not at all interested in implicating either the state or UDC for any default that these projects, might result in. In the case of the Liberty Development Corporation, it was exactly the same thing. There were private entities that were able, because of federal law, to issue tax-exempt bonds. And so we facilitated that. But should any of those projects fail, the state or us could not be responsible. And the only way that can be absolutely assured is to do an issuance through an entity such as an LDC.
So they're not a subsidiary.
No.
They are the creation, so to speak.
They're LDCs, which are separate things under it.
Now, why did you create it? Why couldn't someone else create it?
I'm not sure who else would have created it.
Well, that's what I'm trying to understand. If you created, what is the distinction? I'm trying to understand the language of the law that protects you or protects the people from having any accountability for this bond issue.
It's the bond deal itself. I mean, the agreements with respect to that. And the LDC, the structure of the LDC is under the not-for-profit corporation law. It is clearly not a subsidiary of JDA or any other.
So, let me ask you this. Are there any government oversight over the BALDC finances?
Yes. We report our finances to...
Who are we now? The LDC or ESDC?
The LDC reports its finances in all the public authority accounting that we do. We report them, and we provide them in our consolidated, well, they're not part of our consolidated financial statements, but we provide financial statements with respect to them to the controller and to all the other state entities that we report to. And in this case, with respect to transparency, I would just would point out that the fact that this was going to occur was included in the general project plan.
Okay. So, do you serve on the BALDC board?
Yes, I think I'm on the board of that. I am.
Okay, so you're on the board.
Yes.
Okay. And who are there any other members of the board that you're familiar with?
Dennis was there. We can get you a list. Chairman Mullen is on the board.
The chairman of the ESDC is on the board?
Yes, yes.
Sure.
Sabrina Hankins. I'm not positive. We have to get you a list. I know there are people from the governor's office that are on it.
Okay. So it's a non-governmental entity.
No, I didn't say that.
Okay, it's a government.
It's a not-for-profit
corporation.
Right. That, if you look at the law,
with the government sitting on it.
Yes, lessening the burdens of government. Yes.
Okay. Which does not have to go through the Public Authorities Control Board or any other public kind of accountability.
Because there is no risk to the state or our credit in that.
So the controller has no role in terms of any oversight with regard to the LDC? The state controller or the attorney general?
I'm sure the attorney general has some oversight. It's a not-for-profit corporation, and the attorney general has oversight over all such entities.
Okay. I have a list of the following people who serve on the board of the BALDC. Raina Hankin,
Yes.
Is that one? Who happens to be the governor's advisor. She was assistant to the Secretary for Culture and Economic Development for Governor Basson. Peter Cannon,
Yes.
the Governor's Counsel. Robert Megna, the New York State Budget Director and Chair of PACB. Robin Godley. Francis Walton. Okay, and yourself. So, all of these are state government officials that sit, and are there any other non-governmental officials on this board? I want to. You have two more questions. The closing documents. We wanted to get an understanding. Are they ready to be released? Have they been released yet?
I think we've gotten a request, and I think we're preparing to release them.
Do you have any idea of
I don't know, because we don't have the closing documents in our office yet. You know, there was a closing, we didn't come back.
Does the board have, does it all on you don't have them, who do we see at the BALDC together? Because it's all
we had a closing last week. The documents need to come to us from the law firm where the closing occurred. That's all that has to happen. Skadden Arch.
Okay. So we'd like to get the closing documents as soon as possible.
No, thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. I appreciate your cooperation and look forward to being in touch and receiving the documents. Or anything else you want to share?
Thank you.
In Rochester, because of the Senator's interest as well as because of the concerns that in that area of the state, and so we look forward to that as well. The next panel will